Trucker Dump for November 16th, 2015, episode 111, Improving Our Reputation as Truckers.
Welcome to Trucker Dump, where you'll get one driver's insights and sometimes humorous views of truck driving and the trucking industry, and pretty much anything else he feels like dumping on you. This podcast is brought to you by AboutTruckDriving.com. Resources to help you understand the world of truck driving through the use of stories and a pathetic attempt at humor.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trucker Dump. This is Todd McCann. It might sound a little different to you today because, for one thing, I'm recording in my truck again, and I have a guest in my truck. I have an invader. A guy just dropped by. I picked him up off the street, and I don't know him, but I just let him in and decided to podcast for a while. No, that's not true. This is a guy who's listened to the podcast for quite a long time. He's actually contributed to the podcast some. His name is Steven. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
You worked all day?
No.
No?
Just local stuff.
Ah, okay. You used to drive over the road, though, right?
Yes.
Hey, before we go on, tell everybody what your Twitter handle is. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I don't either.
You don't know? It's Steven something that's got some weird numbers in it or something, right?
Yeah, I just got to Twitter because when I emailed you, it took like a month to email back. So I just got on Twitter so I could email you faster.
Is that what it was?
That's all I do Twitter for, is message you.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, then never mind. Don't worry about Twitter, anybody. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a truck. You used to be an over-the-road truck driver, right?
Yep.
But now you're local?
I'm local now.
Okay. Anything else? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 31.
31?
Yeah.
From the pictures you sent and everything, I'm guessing you were right around that age, but I wasn't sure. You never can tell, you know? I used to look a lot younger than everybody said. I looked a lot younger than I am, but then I started getting all this gray crap, and, well, that screwed that all up. So anyway, he's just going to sit in today. We're going to discuss a topic a little bit later. We'll get into that. But first, I wanted to point out a couple of things that just really been bugging the crap out of me. Like last night, I was cruising along, and Mike, the driver, which you won't know, he's on Twitter, he was complaining about drivers who just go super, super slow for no reason. He had a guy going, I think it was 55 and a 65, and he couldn't get around him. And I had the exact same thing not too long ago. Man, I had to piss like a racehorse. It was horrible. We were in construction, and I was cruising along. I was trying to get a hold of whoever was holding up the crowd, but of course, nobody answers the CB anymore, you know. I can't say as I blame them. Do you use a CB?
No, I haven't used a CB in years. It's like dead.
Yeah, that thing doesn't even work anymore, but I was trying to reach him, and nobody's even answering, you know, because I don't turn it on unless I absolutely have to, so I guess I can't really blame him. But anyway, it just so happens I got lucky. When I pulled in, he was sitting there, and he was sitting right in the truck stop where I was at, so I had to piss, but I had to stop and ask him. I was like, dude, why are you going 35 mile an hour in a 45 mile an hour zone? No, it was a 50 mile an hour. He was going 35. This lasted for 20 minutes. It was ridiculous. And he goes, oh, well, my company makes me do that. Stevens Transport. You don't own that company, do you?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, he said it was company policy for their drivers to go 15 mile an hour under the speed limit.
I don't think that's part of the Smith system.
No, I don't think that's part of any system except for piss me off system, basically, I think is all that is. Because, God, I was just so annoyed. And Mike was complaining about it last night, and it reminded me of that happened not too long ago. So I just told him how ridiculous it was. But I do know that Stevens Transport has a lot of rookie drivers. They hire a lot of brand new drivers, student drivers. So maybe that's why they do it, but that's not realistic. If you're a Stevens driver out there, don't do that. Just go with the speed limit. Stevens is never going to know, right?
I know that a Qualcomm's pretty accurate, but how do they know if you're in a like work zone?
I don't think they do. Although I have been told that Walmart drivers, that Walmart somehow can tell by your Qualcomms and stuff if you are talking on your cell phone, which they have permission to check your phone. How cool is that? Not cool at all. Yeah, but they can and if they find you on the phone, you've been talking on the phone while you're in traffic or like in an urban area, they'll can you on the spot. How cool is that?
I know there's a couple of companies out there that if you get caught on the cell phone, you automatic termination.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the dispatchers always call you, and expect you to answer the phone. But then safety will usually ask you if, hey, are you driving right now? And I just say no because I have an iPhone, and the noise cancellation, they can't even hear it. So worked out nicely. You an Android guy?
I am.
Oh God, I need you to exit the cab right now, please.
Did I get all those tweets I sent you about all the Apple?
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since you written into the show, so I just wasn't. I couldn't remember exactly what you had written about, but I thought you were an Android guy, and I knew you bought a house recently, right?
I did.
Yeah, and you're redoing it.
I am.
I don't know how you're doing that. How's that going?
Pretty well. I finally got the kitchen almost done.
And you're doing it all yourself.
I am.
God bless America. I don't see how. Like, if I change a doorknob out in the house and I don't destroy something, my wife just, has a party because, she's completely convinced I'm inept, and she's pretty much right. But anyway. All right. Okay, let's see. I needed to do a couple corrections here. It was a while back that what did I do? I was talking about log violations, and somebody wrote in how if they need to drive over time or whatever, they'll just do it and then just make something up and change their log later. Well, I can't change my logs. And I told everybody that the way I do it is that if I have to drive illegal for some reason, I will just put a remark in on my e-log. And my company flat out said, do not do that. So I was wrong there. So if you don't take my advice anymore, I'm sorry about that. But she says that is an automatic flag when a DOT comes into audit. They will automatically flag that and see it. Whereas if they don't ask about it, they don't know about it, basically. So just wanted to correct myself there. Sorry if anybody got in any trouble. Also had a correction. Last week, I was talking about Clive Hammett. He wrote in, gave that little audio tip on, or not an audio tip. He gave a tip on the Apple Watch, which I'm sure you have one of those, right, Steven?
Yeah, I have an Apple and a watch.
Oh, both? I have some apples right here. Yeah, but I said that his name was Truck Trekker, and it is not. On Twitter, he has changed it since then. I didn't know it, but he is now Clive_Hammett. That's Hammett. So sorry for the screw up. Sorry, Clive writes in, once in a blue moon, and then I screw up his handle on air. So sorry about that, Clive. And everybody should go follow him. He's an Apple junkie like me, so he's automatically a good guy. Oh my God. You're going to have to send me that. I'll post it. Steven just showed me a picture of his Apple Watch. It is a watch carved out of an apple. Nice. We'll put that in the show notes so you guys can see it. Oh, what else? Oh, have you listened to the podcast, of course?
Yes.
Last episode, I talked about those slush busters. You ever heard of those?
I saw something at Walmart, like something similar to it.
At Walmart?
Yeah.
Really?
It was in their clearance section. I was going to buy one, but I'm not sure if I want one.
Yeah, I wonder about the rest of the year, when you don't really need it and it's just popping, it's having to go over that stupid thing. I don't know. I figure I'll try them. I wrote them trying to get a review, but they haven't even wrote me back yet. Probably because, it's just a little peon blog I got here. So nobody's really wanting to give me any products to review. I do have some for the future, though. But anyway, there's a new one. Well, I don't know if it's new or not, but I just heard about it. A guy named Pat Smith sent me this on Twitter. He is Pat Smith F1 on Twitter. So check him out. He sent me this thing called Wiper Shaker. Have you ever seen this thing or heard about it?
Never heard of it.
It is bizarre. It's like this little motor, and it attaches to your windshield wiper with just like a couple of little bolts. I think they're even wing nuts. and then you thread the cord down through your windshield or whatever, and you can hardwire it in, or you can just plug it in a cigarette lighter. But what it does is it shakes the mirror, or not the mirror, the wiper. So they were like doing demos of it, and like the wiper's going and it's trying to get the ice off of it, and there's all this ice on it and stuff. And he hits the button, and it vibrates really fast and shakes the ice off. I'm interested in that, but I would have to think you'd have to stay on top of that, because once the ice is formed, is it really gonna shake the ice off?
The technique I use is I just, roll down my driver window, turn the heat on really, really high.
Yeah. And do you do the arm thing out the window?
I try not to, because I don't really go too far between stops, so I get to go out and shake it myself.
You don't have to. I am guilty as sin when it comes to that. I reach out there, I smack that windshield wiper left and right. I'm a naughty boy.
What if you just get like a rope, and shake it yourself?
Yeah, just pull on it every once in a while when it gets the top of its motion, just yank on it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have to try those slush busters though, because they're pretty reasonable. I think they were around $25 or $30. I can't remember exactly, but these wiper shakers are $140. So I've asked for a review unit, but I don't expect to get one simply because it's so darn expensive. Even though I'd be willing to send it back to him when the one, once I check it out. But
I mean, once the season's over.
Yeah. You know the way that works.
I know in truck stops you see those Rain-X has those blades supposed to prevent ice buildup.
I've got another another comment from a listener who wrote in about one. I was going to talk about it on a later podcast, and it sounds like the same thing. He's talking about like silicone wipers or something, and it's like I've never heard of any of those that work. I've never tried any though. Have you ever tried any of them?
Oh, I love Rain-X.
Well, Rain-X itself, yeah, but they have their own wipers.
Yeah, I got them on my car.
And are they like scrubbers, or what do they do?
Oh, I don't drive that in the winter.
No, but are the wipers, do they have scrubbers on them, or why do they say they're good for winter? What's the deal with them? Or are they good for winter?
I'm not too sure. I've seen the ones with the scrubbers, but I'm not sure how well they're going to work.
Huh. Yeah, I've seen those too, and I'm just not sure if they're going to work or not. Well, okay. I guess we probably ought to get on with it. I guess I'll go ahead and announce that in the feedback section, we're going to hear another audio comment from Greg. Thank God, finally getting to those. It's been forever. He's had like 5 or 6 of those in, and I just haven't gotten to him. We're going to hear from our old friend Long Duck.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Yeah, you expected the sound, of course. But hey, you know what? Greg is not alone anymore. Greg is also joined by a contributor named Shannon, and he's going to just talk about the podcast a little bit and give me some feedback on it, which I've been asking for a long time, so I appreciate that. Do what?
Oh, how is your evil overlord?
She is dandy. Actually, me and you were talking on Twitter yesterday, and I was telling you that we had some good news in the family, that my mother-in-law thought she was going to have some cancer going on, but it was benign, and they got it all out of her and everything, so that was good news. But you remember I told you asked how they were celebrating.
Yeah.
And when I told you that that the evil overlord was probably torturing her mom when she's coming off the anesthetics and all that stuff. I never can say that word right, so don't make fun of me. And I was right. I haven't got to see it yet or anything, but my wife has been torturing her and her little sister. When she was coming off the drugs, I guess she's saying all kinds of stupid stuff, and they've just been torturing her, just really been screwing with her. So that's typical evil overlord for you. I would expect no less.
I would imagine one of her things she would have done was like show her a fake foot and be like, well, they removed 9 pounds with the wrong 9 pounds.
That probably would have worked. I don't know. I haven't had a really good chance to talk. She's been busy, keeping her mom active in the hospital and everything. And I just haven't really had a good chance to talk to her yet. But she said her and her little sister were on FaceTime messing with her, and I don't know how that works. But I guess the evil overlord had her phone, was on FaceTime, had her little sister on the other end, and was torturing her mom some way. Although her mom will laugh her butt off when she finally comes out of her drug stupor.
You mean when they show her the video?
Yeah, when they show it to her, she'll die laughing. I mean, they've done stuff like, hold their fingers up to her nose like they're picking her nose and take pictures of her while she's passed out with her mouth wide open, and all good kinds of fun stuff like that. So hey, let's get on with our topic today. Steve and I, like I said, we were deciding what to, and we decided we'd just talk about improving our reputation as truckers in general. And I've made a list of some things over the years that I've just thought of, and these are all things that you all know, but this is kind of a reminder, just wake up, pay attention to what you're doing, because we have a horrible reputation. I mean, you're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And largely deserved, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not.
Have you smelt the parking lot of some of the truck stops?
Yes. I know. I tried. Hang on. Somebody's knocking at the door.
The first, 3 weeks I was driving a truck, I went to Texas, and this lady knocked on my door. She's like, "You want a commercial?" What? Do you want a commercial?
Commercial?
What? She goes, "You knew?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "A commercial." I go, "No."
I have never heard that before.
Yeah, down in Texas.
For those of you who are wondering what the heck we're talking about, we had an interruption. A guy was at the door, wanted to know if he could park where we were at. And then we somehow got off talking about lot lizards. I was saying I get interrupted by a lot lizard every once in a while. And then Steven started telling me the story of that woman asking for I have never been asked commercial. Usually they just say, "You want some company?"
I guess in Texas is that loophole. If you replace the word with something else, it's legal.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at Texas though, but because every time I'm down there, it seems like somebody knocks on my door. I love Dallas because I used to live there, but every time I'm there, it's just a nightmare. With the lot lizards and the crackheads and all that stuff knocking on your doors. So anyway, let's get to some of these topics. You got any right off the top of your head? Or you want me to go ahead and start?
Jake brakes. You don't need a Jake brake to upshift. You don't need it in, the parking lot.
The parking lot one drives me nuts because you're trying to sleep. People are trying to sleep. Not all of us are solar drivers, and up during the day and sleeping at night. I sleep during the day a lot of times, and some moron comes by. Well, in the first place, you shouldn't be going that fast in a truck stop parking lot, but to use your Jake brake, it makes no sense. But then they do it in residential areas too.
Yeah, I guess they need more of those signs.
Well, I know. I mean, personally, what I try to do is I just turn the thing off unless I absolutely need it in really hilly areas. I mean, what do you do with your Jake brake?
I hardly ever use it.
Yeah. Well, that surprises. You're from Pennsylvania. You got all these hills around here, but you don't feel the need to use it.
Well, I only use it, when I got the truck speed for 20 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. Down some of those little hills and stuff that you pretty much have to. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I try to, even if I'm out on a country road somewhere and I got every right to use my Jake brake, unless I need to, I just don't. Because, why be noisier than you need to? You drive by somebody's house, you got the Jake brake rolling, you rattle somebody's windows, they're cussing the trucker. That's what they do. Makes us all look bad. Am I right?
I also don't like the Jake brake just because, wintertime, you get too used to using it, and start sliding out.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. Well, like motorcycles, you see motorcycles all the time. They'll say, loud pipes save lives. And that may be true for a motorcycle. I don't know. Because, they're so small, people can overlook them. But you can't overlook a semi. You can't use that excuse, right? I don't think you can use that excuse.
I've never heard the thing before about loud life save lives. Never heard that.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it a lot on bumper stickers and stuff. Whereas motorcycles are saying, people don't see us. Therefore, we need them to hear us. That's their argument for, these Harleys having straight pipes and stuff that are so freaking loud. And, there's probably a good argument for that. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. I've written a blog post about tailgating. You remember that episode?
Yes.
And my 4 reasons for tailgating. Yeah. And I got some feedback on that through different sources, not just on the blog post, but people saying, we should never tailgate and all that stuff. And that is true, but there is a reason to tailgate, like when you need to pass and quite honestly, when you're just trying to wake somebody up so they get off their phone and drive their stupid car, right?
Or if you're going like 10 miles an hour through New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what I try to do when I tailgate is I want to make it clear that I'm not saying I'm one of these guys who gets up on the bumper, because that if somebody can look in the rearview mirror and see nothing but grill, you're too freaking close. And it gives us all a bad reputation. If anybody wants to know how bad we hate, how bad the general public hates us as truckers for tailgating, just get online and put tailgating truckers in Google and you'll see, man, videos everywhere, people talking about it. Why do truckers do that all the time? They're being unsafe, despite the fact that they're doing something stupid in front of us at that very second. But anyway, when I tailgate, I don't do it closely. I don't flash my lights when I'm behind them and everything. I get maybe 3-4 car lengths, just enough to make them uncomfortable. And then, that way maybe they'll get out of the way or whatever. But, I'll assume you're not going to admit to tailgating. Am I right?
Oh, no, my truck goes too slow to tailgate.
Oh, yeah. What are you limited at?
A 65.
Yeah. Well, that's 1 mile an hour faster than me.
But then again, I get paid by the hour, so.
Yeah, who cares? God, I wish we got paid by the hour, but that's a whole other topic to itself. I plan on trying to interview somebody from overseas, what's it called? The UK about that, because I know there people in Europe, the truckers in Europe are paid by the hour, and I just kind of like to know what that's all about and how that worked out for them, because I have a feeling if we ever did it over here, they'd just make our hourly rates so freaking low that it would just be awful. That's my guess.
I don't think so. You ever walk into a place and see the chart for like minimum wage?
Yeah.
If you ever take a close look at that, trucking is on there with people who work with SAP.
Trucking's on there?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. I'm not surprised, but because when you figure up what you actually make over, the course of 70 hours, it's like $6-7 an hour, something like that.
I'm
right
right around
just for
$12.
Yeah. Well, yeah. See, that's my problem. I'm trying to get off the road, and I can't anything local. I'm going to take a third pay cut at least. Just because I've got a lot of experience, and that's the way it goes. You get off the road, and people want to shaft you for it. So anyway, people don't tailgate unless you absolutely have to, and don't do it in a rude way if that's possible. I'm not sure how it is. Okay, also on driving, let's not impede traffic, okay? The left lane guys, if you aren't just hauling balls, don't get out there. I mean, we don't have to worry about that, right? Because we don't ever get out there.
No. I always feel bad when they make truckers go to the left lane because of construction.
Yeah. And then we're the only ones that see the sign that say we're supposed to be out there.
Right.
And then everybody flips us off and they go around on the right. And yeah, I know. I get that all the time. I hate that. If people would just read their freaking signs. I actually talked about that in an article I did not too long ago. A guy named Noah Davis did an article. He got it on Road and Track. So search Noah Davis on Road and Track if you're interested in that. If anybody's interested in that, I'll put a link to that in the show notes also. And it was all about what an experienced truck driver says normal drivers are doing wrong. So I kind of had fun with that. We had a good talk, and he pretty much did me word for word on that. So I guess he was recording me. I didn't realize he was. So glad I didn't say anything too stupid. Either that or he cut it out and I just don't remember it. Okay, so if you're in the left-hand lane, make sure you're passing.
Or getting off the exit.
Yeah. Left. Yeah. Like,
Because 81's got the 2 left lanes for.
That's true. That's true. But unless you have to be out there, don't get out there. Get back over in the left or get back over in the right lanes. Now, people will also complain about us being in the center lane. But you've done the Smith system, right?
Yes.
Don't they say get in the center lane if there's 3 lanes in heavy traffic, or do they not? I read that somewhere.
So the lane of less resistance.
Well, that would be the lane of less resistance, right?
Yeah.
The center lane.
People getting on, getting off, and passing.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be in the right lane in urban areas. I know the public gets pissed at us all the time for that, but hey, it's like you said, we just need to be in the lane that we're going to cause the least amount of problems. And that is the center lane. So all you non-truckers, deal with it. Okay, here's another traffic related thing. I don't know how many of you drivers do this, but have you ever been like, you ever pull up to a intersection and there's like all these businesses, right there, and say there's like a McDonald's right there on the corner. Do you do anything special there? Or do you just pull up behind traffic like everything else? Have you ever thought about it?
I got pulled over once because I was over in Rochester, and they have those 2 lanes that have that 1 lane in the center for turning left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And I parked my truck there once just to run to McDonald's and grab food and come back out. And the cop was out there, and I told the lady, I'm like, I'll be back from food, I gotta go out.
Yeah, no, that's not good. not in that lane. Now, specifically what I'm talking about is like blocking lanes into businesses. Like when I pull up, if there's a stop sign, what I like to do is if it's at all possible for me to not block an entrance to a business, I won't do it. So, there's 3 cars in front of me, and then there's the entrance to the McDonald's. I will just stay back. That way, if anybody needs to turn left in front of me to get to McDonald's, great. I mean, think about it. If they're going to McDonald's, they're obviously short on time, right? So I would just suggest that to all drivers. When you just stay alert, and when you are, at a situation like that, just don't block these lanes, because what's going to happen? They're going to pull up in the left-hand lane. They're going to want to go into McDonald's. And I'm sitting there looking down at them because I blocked them. What's that say about our reputation? What's that do for our reputation? All it does is make them go to the water cooler, back from lunch, and say they're back from lunch late because some moron trucker was blocking the road into McDonald's. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know how many people actually think about that one. I know that's been a thing of mine for a long time. That's one thing I just try to do.
Yeah, not blocking any kind of driveway is always good, It's a little bit common courtesy.
But it's amazing how many people do it. You even see drivers like at a shipper receiver, and they pull up and they just block the whole they pull inside the gate, but then they just park there. And it's like, pull over to the side, you moron. There's people trying to get in and out of this gate. People just don't care, I guess. I don't know.
Even when they got the signs for people to pull over to the side, they still park in the gate.
Yeah, I know. That's like they can't read, I guess. I don't know. I was at a place the other day, and this guy was holding up traffic, just trying to get in because he hadn't slid his tandems back, Everybody else had seen the sign out there that said, tandems must be slid to the rear before you get to the gate. This guy probably, I don't know, maybe he was an illegal who couldn't read, I don't know. But he didn't do it, and because of that, screwed everybody up.
You got those air assist?
The what?
You got air assist, or you got pull the pin?
We pull them.
Oh,
yeah.
Vice grips are awesome with that.
With
pulling pins, if you can't get it, vice grips.
Yeah. If it doesn't have a little notch and it won't hold or whatever.
Even if you got to shake it a little bit, put a paper vice grip, shake it, pull it out a little more, vice grip it, shake it.
Oh, okay. I've never had to do that. I think that's probably because my company takes really good care of their equipment. Which, by the way, Steven now knows who I drive for, but you had kind of guessed anyway.
Nope.
Am I right? No, you hadn't?
No clue. I was like, I had your truck number, so like...
Once again, I know... Okay, like I say, I get a lot of feedback and emails, so I'm pretty sure that was Long Duck. He has guessed who I work for, but I haven't really verified it yet. Of course, now I guess I just have on air. So, Long Duck, you got it right. Don't tell anyone. But now Steven knows, so if he goes and tells anybody, I'll just have to hunt him down and kill him, I guess.
It was also plausible deniability.
Okay.
Like that was a truck I rented to fool you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and this isn't all my stuff. It's somebody else's stuff in here. All right. What else is truck related here? Okay, I have dwelt on this over and over and over again, and I hate this. In truckermagazine.com, the article the magazine I've been writing for recently, I wrote a whole thing about it, whole article about vandalism. And this involves specifically trucks. And it's my belief that if this is not my truck, I shouldn't be writing stuff on it. You know, whether it's in the dirt or whatever, it's not my property. So whether it says show your hooters, which I really despise, or whether it's a big hill with 3 crosses on it that represent, Christ, which I'm fine with. I don't think it's right to have that on there either, because it isn't your company's beliefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen those signs all the time with people just write on the, side. I do like the ones that, say passing side and suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are actually bumper stickers that the company decides to put on there.
No, I've seen people write that in the dirt on the back of their trailers.
Oh, well, to me, that I don't write anything on there. Actually, I had to do something that, so I'm not a hypocrite. I actually had to wipe off the crosses the other day. Man, that hurt me because I'm a Christian, and it just bugged the crap out of me to have to do that. But, so that or be a hypocrite, because I can't say, don't put no hooters on there and then put crosses on there. So I wipe everything off there because I don't think I should be reflecting that to the company. And if you put that on there, if you put crosses on there, you're going to offend some people. You're going to offend some non-Christian people. If you put no hooters on there, you're going to offend almost every woman in the world. Right?
Right.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think of a driver? What do you think a woman thinks about a driver when she sees no hooters on there and then she pulls up beside the guy? What's she thinking?
Right. I was with this one guy. I was going to recover a truck. And then every time a girl went by in a short skirt, he honked the air horn at her. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. He's just trying to get her to show him some stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, are we really that desperate out here? I mean, women truckers don't do this. They're not saying, show me your wiener, right? They don't ever put that on the back of their, I've never seen that anyway.
If they did, that would cause a traffic jam with how many people want to show off.
Yeah. If the sad thing is, if they did that, men are such pervs, they would see it almost every time somebody went by. I'm sure somebody'd be flashing their Johnson at them. Yeah. But well, anyway, like I say, crosses, Jesus loves you. I think they're okay, but I don't think they have a place on a company vehicle. And the show your hooters thing, that pisses everybody off. There's not one woman who is impressed with you guys out there who put that on your truck. Not one of them. Okay, maybe one. Maybe like a carload of college girls that are drinking too much or something, But I think generally women are already exploited enough. They don't need you to tell them to show their hooters. They're just pull up beside you. They look up at the guy who's all scruffy looking. Well, not that I can say anything about that right now. I'm pretty unshaven myself, but hey, I don't have to worry about that because I never have show your hooters on there. So they can look up and see a scruffy guy, and that's fine because I'm not being annoying. Okay, what do we got next? Any more comments on that?
I am kind of mad that I took away the "Have a nice day" sign off of the placards.
You mean the fold out ones?
Yeah.
I haven't
After
had those in
9/11,
years.
They took them off.
Huh? Why?
Because, in case the truck went on fire, they might see something different.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, but yeah, that's sad. No, I didn't know that because I used to haul for a company who used those placards, but I don't. This company don't, and we rarely ever haul hazmat. Although I get paid an extra penny per mile for every mile run. All right. Okay. Idling. It's not as necessary as it used to be. Almost everybody's got APUs now. I mean, if my company got APUs, we know pretty much everybody's got them. You don't have them, I'm sure, because you're a local driver.
Occasionally, I drive, a sleeper that has a bunk heater in it.
Yeah, well, bunk heaters. I love my bunk heater, but this APU is cool too. But I mean, just the more you idle, if you're idling in an area that's heavily populated or whatever, if you have to stay warm or to not sleep in a pile of your own sweat, then fine. But if you don't idle, because it's just pissing everybody off. You're in, even, especially near residential areas, just bad news. People are just going to get pissed at you. They're probably going to call the cops on you, and it's just not worth it. It just makes us all look bad.
I have trouble sleeping in an idling truck, so I don't like idling anyways.
Oh, well, I like noise, so I can sleep. I could sleep with a reefer. I could sleep, like I said. I think I said a couple episodes ago that I actually try to park by reefers because, unless I'm podcasting, because I hate them then. But otherwise, I always try to park by. I don't know. I just love the noise. I listen to one of those white noise things when I'm at home, not out here, because I usually got plenty of noise. But I love it. But I know most guys are like you.
The first time I pulled a reefer, it was for Walmart, and I was sitting in a parking lot, and they have it on cycle, and I was sleeping, and the thing kicked on. I thought someone was stealing my truck.
Yeah, it kicks pretty hard.
Yeah,
doesn't it? I've never hauled reefers, but I hear they kick pretty hard when they kick on. That might actually disturb me a little bit, but the ones beside me don't, because they're not connected to my truck. They're not jerking me awake. All right. Here's a couple more things I had, which was pretty much driver related. One is just take a freaking shower. Just stay clean.
They give free coupons.
I know. Why don't? Have you ever seen that? Like, you go in a truck stop and you see or you sit down by some guy and he stinks to high heaven and he's just sitting there watching TV for an hour. Go take a shower. I often want to just say, hey, I got some free showers on my car. Do you want one? But I have a feeling that wouldn't go over really well, right?
He might get a little offended,
Yeah, I know, and I'm not very confrontational either, but I want to sometimes because there's just no excuse for it.
There's got to be that one guy who's like only gets 49 gallons and never gets that one free shower. That might be the problem.
Yeah. My company does that sometimes when they think we're just trying to, like if we call and say we need some fuel somewhere, and if they think we're just trying to get a free shower out of it, they'll give us like 49 gallons or 44 gallons or something like that. And it just pisses me off. Because, I'm not usually trying to do that. But even if I was, what's the difference if I need some fuel? Give me 5 more gallons more and give me a freaking shower out of it. Just makes me mad. But anyway, just guys, take care of yourselves. When you get out, you're representing not just your trucking company, but the industry in general. You don't have to be one of these morons who wears, slacks and a tie. Have you ever seen any of those guys?
No, I haven't.
You're fairly new. How long you been driving?
10 years.
Oh, well, you've been driving longer than I thought then. Yeah. And you've never seen any of those guys?
No.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them. And yeah, they dress all nice and everything. And they're trying to put forth a good reputation for the industry. And that makes sense. But I don't know. It's just annoying. I would never do it. It's too uncomfortable. And, my whole bag is just stuffed with sweats and stuff. But they're clean. They fit me. Nobody ever complains about the way I look or anything. Well, not to my face anyway. You just wear jeans to work and
just jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah. You ever wear sweats?
No, I never wear sweats.
Are you one of those guys who say sweats is off limits?
No, I wear sweats around the house.
Yeah, but would you wear them to work if you could?
No.
Why?
Because jeans are, if they're easier to clean, they don't rip as much,
Yeah. Well, you do manual labor, right?
Same thing as you do, just do a few more drops a day.
Oh, but you don't unload and stuff?
No, I don't unload.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Evil Overlord, I tried to wear jeans when we first started because, that's just a normal thing you do. Jeans are nice and comfortable. But boy, when you're sitting for 11 hours a day, that's just, No, I just ain't gonna do it. I need some of those. What are they? Duluth Trading Company. You seen those jeans?
No, I haven't.
They call them ballroom jeans.
The one with a U?
They got more space down here, but they call them ballroom jeans. Anyway, it's a pretty funny place.
You ever watch a show Last Week Tonight with John Oliver?
I catch his stuff on video sometimes. Yeah.
You see that clip about LBJ talking about not enough ballroom?
No. No.
Yeah, he's called up Levi, and he was like, you can make him wider. Not enough room for my balls.
Because he's LBJ. Yeah, no. I enjoy his stuff sometimes, but he's a little liberal for me. He's a little to the far left for me. But he's still funny. Well, his stuff is really funny. If you guys don't know who we're talking about, it's what is it, John Oliver? Is that right?
He's got an HBO show, and like the day after, he puts it all on YouTube for free.
Yeah. Is it just like those little 15-minute segments that he does, or is it a whole show, but that's just one little rant he does?
It's not the whole show, but it's the main chunk of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because the things he does are pretty darn funny. Are you hearing that squeak?
Yeah.
Okay, we had a little weird squeak, so we went back and checked on it. Have you ever heard your voice recorded before, Steven?
Only on answering machines.
Oh, God, that's horrible. Was this any better?
It was a lot better.
Okay, yeah. It's hard to get used to when you first start doing this a lot, but now I'm just used to it. And of course, my voice sounds deeper in my head than it does on here. It always does. I don't know, something about that resonance and bone stuff. I don't know what's going on there. All right, where'd we leave off? We're talking about guys with showers. Oh, yeah, and the way they dress. Yeah. I know there's a whole faction of people out there who thinks that sweats are a no-no, that we shouldn't do it because it makes us look bad. The way I look at it is, if office people could wear sweats to work, they'd do it. They just can't. Right?
No, I've never really, given sweats a chance. I've always been a jeans guy.
Yeah, well, that's fine if they work for you. They're so cheap, for one thing, sweats. You get them at Walmart or JCPenney or something. They're so sweet. It's so cheap that when I get a big glob of grease on them, I don't even care. I just trash them,
I'm surprised you don't rip them up and use them as rags.
No, I'm cheap, but that's something my mom would do, but I'm not that cheap. I would just trash them. Okay. Let's see. The only other thing I have is just a pet peeve, and I don't even know if this has to do with our reputation a lot. Maybe people don't realize it's us, but I'm pretty sure that most of this litter on the highways is caused by truckers.
Yeah, I don't see a minivan throwing a Gatorade out full of,
The trucker bomb, yeah. No. Well, not just that, but just regular trash. I mean, have you ever seen anybody on a trucker on the side of the road, pull up on an exit ramp and just dump his trash out the window?
I was at I do a lot of local deliveries, and I go to Lowe's a lot, and I'm sitting there in the parking lot waiting to do my drop and hook, and I see this guy just walk out and just put his trash right on the ground and leave. I'm like, the trash can not that far away.
I know. Yeah. One time I witnessed I was sitting there in a parking spot at a truck stop, and was watching this guy fuel his truck, and he had his young son with him. And he stood up on the steps. He had the door open. He reached in there, grabbed his trash can, and just poured it out. Right there on the fuel bay. His son was standing right down there by the trash can. He could have just handed it to his son and said, pour that out. It was an open trash can. He probably could have even if he would have aimed a little bit, he probably could have hit it. Instead, he just poured it out right there. And I wonder why people litter. Because people are teaching their kids to do it. But anyway, it gives us a horrible reputation. When people see us, I've seen truckers throw stuff out the window when they're going down the road. Somebody sees that. If I saw it, cars are seeing it. Right?
The only thing I throw out my window are apple cores.
There, I do too. If it can be reused by an animal or something, or if I got a piece of stale bread or something, I chuck it out the window, whatever. And who knows, maybe they think I'm littering. But in that case, I'm helping a poor little innocent bird or something, so I get a brownie point for that, right?
But littering has become a big problem, especially for companies who are spending thousands of dollars putting height restrictors to keep us out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because we're not just doing it on the highway. We're doing it in parking lots, customers, stuff like that. It just makes no sense to me. People wonder why we can't park, why people say, or, why companies won't let us park there. It's because of that, because we're littering, we're pissing in their parking lot, God knows what else,
Not unless it's the damage we do,
Yeah. Yeah. You were texting me or you were telling me about a guy at Walmart. Tell him that story.
Yeah, I used to deliver a lot for Walmart until my company lost their contract and I had to switch companies. But this guy drove over one of those giant rocks, drug it around the parking lot, parked for the night, and when the manager came out to ask him about it, he said, "Nope, it wasn't me." The manager's like, "You're still under the rock."
So the rock was stuck under his back axle probably,
Yeah.
and he didn't even realize it.
Right.
And he's denying the whole thing. Yeah, that's great for our reputation. Just wonderful. Well, hey, I think that brings it to an end unless you got anything else.
Nope, I had a great time.
Okay. Well, it was neat that we only got an hour. It was kind of sucky. I could have gotten here a little bit earlier, but he couldn't get here any earlier because of work. So we did what we could. We only had an hour to burn, which isn't cool because it would have been cool to go down to Burger King, grab some grub, and chat for a while. But as is, he showed up, jumped in the truck, shook hands. He sat down. I sat down. We recorded. This is what you get. And then now I got to go pick up my load in 3 minutes. So that's it for the day. I do want to thank you, Steven, for dropping by. And how far do you have to drive to come over here?
An hour and a half.
Good God Almighty. People, I did tell him when I realized we only had like an hour to go, I did text him and say, hey, if you don't want to come over here for one measly hour, then, you don't have to. But by that time, you were probably already on your way, weren't you?
About an hour into it.
See, I didn't know you were coming from that far away. You said you were close.
That is close in trucker talk.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, now I feel bad.
It's either drive an hour and a half or wait another 6 months for an episode.
Oh, ow. Sting, burn. Oh. All right, people. Well, we'll leave you with that. And you can see what what kind of guy Steven is. He's my kind of guy. So, all right. Thanks for dropping by. And all right. We'll talk to you later then. Well, you can no doubt tell we had a lot of fun recording that. Oh, you know what, though? It just goes to show I'm just not used to having a co-host. It amazes me. We got all the way through that interview, or not an interview, the whole show, with a co-host, and didn't even realize that I didn't get his last name in there. I just said his name was Steven. Well, his name is Steven Gorman. So, sorry about that, Steven. It was just a really bad situation. Like I said in the beginning, he just showed up. We had just enough time to just meet. So it's like sitting across the microphone from a complete stranger, whereas if we had had time to go and, grab a bite to eat and cut up a little bit, and just kind of feel each other out and, well, that sounded gross and weird, but, kind of figure out what the other guy's like, kind of get an idea of their personality, then, it probably would have went a little bit smoother. But hey, I was just grateful he drove all that way up to just for that short of a podcast. And even he must be weird because he said he'd do it anytime I was in that area. So hopefully I'll get back to that area. We'll have an afternoon off and he'll be able to come back up there and hang out again. So anyway, thanks a lot, Steven. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought of it. Well, crap, get out of the way, man. You don't want to get run over.
Hey, yo, bud, where do you want this load of feedback?
Whew, that was close. Man, you must be faster than you look. Hey, we're going to start out the feedback section this time with Greg again. He sent in another audio comment. Actually, what he sent in was the one he sent in that we're going to play today was actually to replace the one that he did so long the last time. And I completely forgot he had sent in a redo of it. So actually what you're going to get this time is kind of a cut up thing, because I don't want to tell you the exact same story where he had the problem with the guy who was sitting in the fuel bay forever while he went in and showered and walk the dog and all that stuff. So I didn't want to go back through there again, but he did tack on another little story to it having to do with a guy at his yard. So, and you're going to hear a weird cut in here. So I just kind of connected the pieces together. So don't blame Greg for this. Okay. And I tried to get as much, rid of as much of the noise as I could. I use an app called Audacity for that. And it does a decent job. Not great, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, take it away, Greg.
Greetings, Todd, and the rest of you trucker dumpers. This is Greg again, and I figure I'd go throw a little rebuttal in on his Todd's latest fuel island rant. Yeah, I can feel for him. I try not to use fuel islands if they're busy. I'll go ahead and pull off and park. But when our company yard went and moved out of town and out to one of the lying outskirt towns up here in North Dakota, we now have a fuel island of our own. And I pull up behind this driver. He's fueling his tractor and stuff, and fueling his tractor and fueling his tractor. And okay, that's no biggie. Then he goes and hangs up the hoses, and I figure, okay, he's getting ready to pull off and park. No, moron has to go and fuel his reefer. Okay, I can understand on a regular fuel island. But we have, at the time, 2 pumps, tractor and reefer, and now we have tractor, reefer, and def. Well, you start your tractor, and you can go back and fill your reefer up at the same time. Airhead didn't realize this. I've had 3 hoses, 4 hoses, whatever, running at the same time, 2 for the tractor, 1 for the reefer, and 1 for the def. Hey, we can multitask. This guy couldn't. He could only do one thing at a time. Oh, boy. Anyway, all right. I just thought I'd throw that in for a little trucker humor and chuckle or whatever. All right. Take it easy. Stay safe. It's Memorial Day weekend. I got just swapped out over there in Hudson, Wisconsin. Passed off a load going to Pennsylvania. I'm now headed back for Portland, Oregon. Yeehaw, back over the mountains again. Okay, take it easy. Hope you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend and stay safe. Later.
Well, Greg, I imagine everybody has forgotten what their Memorial Day weekend was like because someone forgot to post your stuff. Okay, I didn't actually forget to post it. I'm getting to it eventually. I'm getting to it. Oh, but thanks for the comment. These boneheads like that, like you say, the guy couldn't multitask. Well, I am a famous non-multitask guy. I cannot multitask for the life of me, but even I can do, I could do those 4 hoses all at once. I'm pretty sure I'm capable of that. Oh, well. Thanks for your comment, and we'll hear more from Greg later on. Not in this episode, but in future ones. All right, next up is Long Duck, and you know what that means.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Not much. Thanks for asking. Okay, he's got a little story about a fuel bay also. Boy, this fuel bay thing has really raised some stink, some really funk. Let's see what's going on here. He writes, I like the intro that you got from 16 Candles. Well, I'm glad you do, Long Duck. It's so appropriate. He said, I thought it was funny. Keep on doing that. Way ahead of you. He goes on to say, I'm thinking about using the Hey Hot Stuff thing as an intro for my YouTube channel. Well, that sounds like a great idea. Go for it. He says, I could also use the handle that I got when I was in the U.S. Army, which is Kill Them All Kelly, or just Kill Them All for short. I think Long Duck is more PC, and I'm goofy like that. He says, now besides the Motorola Droid, I also have an iPhone 4, or it might be a 3. It does not have text-to-speech. I refuse to use my data to download an app so we could do with what Droid does automatically. Now, if I'm not driving, I can pronounce the punctuation into my Droid, and it'll put it in, but that requires me to talk like a robot. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Now, hey, don't think he's insane here for going off on that little rant. If you remember right, a long time ago, me and him were talking about some different issues with our dictation on our phones. So he's not coming completely out of left field here. Okay, now he gets to the fuel-based stuff. Now about the golden rule thing, there's one thing that'll put me on the warpath. It's inconsiderate drivers. I got into one confrontation with a driver that was taking his 30-minute break on the fuel island. Been there. I honked my horn and he pulled over. I then pulled up and I get out to see him walking towards me like he was somebody. Well, he met kill them all my alternative personality and froze with fear. I immediately started to point him out to all the drivers saying, "Look, this driver is special. He's taking his 30-minute break in the fuel island." Well, he says, "Beep, you all, and if you got a problem with that, you can deal with his about it." Say what? You lost me there, dude. I think we got the gist, though. He says, then I walked back to my truck and he left. He says, "Yeah, bro, there are some internal battles that I face. It's all part of bearing your cross." Well, I am not confrontational at all, like I've mentioned about 1,000,000 times on here, Long Duck. But you know what? These guys, somebody ought to say something to them. But, all this fighting and bickering on the CB and stuff, half the time guys are so macho when they're behind a mic. I was just this morning, I was listening to the CB, believe it or not. I was bored. I don't even remember why I had the stupid thing on, but I could hear the truck stop next door, and there was a guy calling another guy a big cat and to come on over and he'd kick his butt right there in the fuel island. And of course the other guy lipped off and one of them never showed up. And the other one, it's like, come on, if you're going to talk like that, just do it so you can entertain us all. But hey, Long Duck, thanks for writing in. Appreciate it. Oh, I said Long Duck.
What's happening, hot stuff?
You are welcome. Okay, now we're going to finish up with a guy named Shannon. He has written in before, but this is his first audio comment. So take it away, Shannon.
Hey, Todd, how you doing? Hey, man, it's Shannon in Arizona. My Twitter handle is Holden657.
I know full well who you are.
Just a few comments on your podcast. I don't have anything to rant or rave about. But one, you always talk about the noise you hear in the background, and I agree with the other guy. I don't hear anything except buzzing in my ears, and that's from way too many years as a high school kid with a stereo that was way bigger than it needed to be in my pickup. But hey, that's another story.
Yeah, been there.
Two, as far as the length of your podcast, your blog, and your comments, I think that's perfect. I think I could probably speak for everyone when I say that we wish they were more frequently.
Yeah.
But hey, look, I get it. You're a working man. You do it when you can. What you do is appreciated. Want you to know that. So we'll be patient and take them as they come. As far as more tech stuff and more apps, that I think is cool. I'm a huge Apple geek, as I'm sure you know.
Yes,
so,
I do.
Bring on the Apple news if you want. Bring on the Apple talk if you want. If you feel you really have to talk about Android, I guess fine. Talk about those one or two Android people out there. No, I get it. There's a lot of Android people. But anyway, you want to talk about more tech stuff? That's really cool too. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to reiterate what the other gentleman said on his audio comment, that keep it safe out there, all you fellow trucker dumpers, and be safe. We'll be talking to you soon, man. Thanks. Later.
All right, well, I guess it is now official. It is Trucker Dumper. You will not be called Trucker Dumpsters. Greg called you Dumpers. Shannon just called you Dumpers. You guys are Dumpers. Sorry if you don't like that, but you're Dumpers. Okay. Anyway, thanks for writing in on not writing in, recording in. Is that the way you say it? Recording in? Oh, who knows? But anyway, thanks for your input on this, Shannon. In case, you're really the only guy who's ever really given me any input on the show itself like this, and I really appreciate it. It's good to know the length is better. I know full well about the frequency, and like you said, I do what I can, and I am so grateful for you people who actually stick around to listen to this. I know, like I said before, a lot of people, if it doesn't come out every single week, they'll just unsubscribe, and I'm so grateful for the people who just sit around and wait for it, and they don't even pester me very much about it, and that's nice too. Although maybe sometimes I need a kick in the pants when it comes to that. So maybe you ought to remind me a little bit more. Oh, anyway, I do appreciate you saying you enjoy it and you appreciate all the episodes you can get. I do appreciate that because it makes it worthwhile. And I know anybody's out there listening and they actually enjoy what's going on here. So thanks for contributing. And we'll look forward to hearing from you again soon. Right? Right? All right. Oh, by the way, I do have, he mentioned some more tech stuff, and I'm not going to be just this big Apple junkie. That's what I want to be, but I'm not going to do that on this show. I'm just going to try to keep it general. I'll try to, include apps that Android users have access to. You Windows guys, you Windows phone users, I don't know how I can possibly keep you in the loop because they're so far out of the game that I don't even know where to go with that. But I do have actually a couple of little apps and a couple of little products to review. I'm still hoping that I will get those slush buster and the motor shaker, the wiper shaker thing. Haven't heard back from either of those guys yet, though. And we'll find out about that. But looking forward to some reviews in the future. And I will when I do those, I will do them as their own separate blog post, but I will not podcast about them by themselves. These reviews are not going to be super, super long, so I will just do them and tack them on probably to the beginning. I guess I could add a new segment to the show, but I'll probably just tack them on in the intro right before I get into the body of the actual podcast and the actual topic that we're talking about. But hey, once again, I do want to thank Steven for sitting in with me. That was so great. It was nice to be able to do it. Like I said, it just makes me more jealous of Buck and Don over there that just get to sit around and cut up. And I just wish I could do it every week like that. But hey, I'll just continue to do what I can, like Shannon said. So anyway, I think I got some music in store for you, and we'll roll this puppy up. So hey, what'd Steven and I miss? What are your tips to improve our crappy reputations? Write in or send an audio comment to truckerdump@gmail.com or go to abouttruckdriving.com, type TD111 into the search bar, and leave your thoughts over there. I've also been spending more time on Twitter lately than I have recently, so look me up as @ToddMcCann over there. Of course, that's 2 D's, 2 C's, and 2 N's. Alright, that puts another one in the books. Thanks to all you punks for listening. If you enjoy the show, tell all your friends. If you don't. Seriously. So until next time, drive safe and stay out of my way.